Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Ashita Joe, episode 4, Shed Tears for the Burning Fist. I don't know about the burning fist, but I do know about the shedding tears. In fact, before I saw that title, that's what I drew, is an old eye shedding tears. And before we talk about next episode, we need to talk a little bit about the last one and my thoughts on it over the course of the last week. I've been struggling with this past episode. It hurt me, and I've been worrying at it. You know when you get like a cut on the inside of your lip, or a tooth that's out of place a little bit, and your tongue kind of worries at it, and just keep licking at it, keep touching it, keep trying to map it out and figure out what's going on. That's how I felt for this past week about that episode of Joe, was that it sort of kept cycling in my mind. There was something about it that locked in to something about me, something in my unconscious or my subconscious, and it took some doing to pull that out. I think often when something is locked away like that, it's because it's something we don't want to see about ourselves, something we don't want to recognize, and that's what it is in this case. Someone on the last episode said, it was Trevor Rock 1, one of the many great things about Ashita Joe is that the show is not afraid to make Joe a total asshole. And he might remain an asshole for a shockingly long time. I'm not telling. And fair enough, I don't want to know when things change. I assume they will at some point. Maybe not, I don't know. But there's a real power to having a main character who's a little bit of an asshole. Especially if he's a little bit likable, too. Especially if he's framed, as we've expressed, as someone who you can relate to. Not necessarily because of his actions, but because of how he's framed. Because of how little we know about him. Because of how much it is possible to project on him. In our last episode, we find Joe making an agreement and then failing to follow through with it. But it's not the lie or the deception that irks me or gets to me. Not really. Not in such certain terms. I think it's what makes his actions wrong. On a textbook morality sense, he's lying. That's wrong. But that's not what gets to me. Joe and Danpei have an accord and an understanding. And the understanding is that you'll work and I'll work. The money, the bed, all the things. The real understanding is that I'm going to go put my all into this and you're going to go put your all into this. As long as we're both doing that, we're square. And it's something about that that's been eating me. So what was it? I racked my mind over it all week. And then, when I was trying to think of what I should title last episode, it hit me. Joe, here's your homework. And then I understood. Because while Joe doesn't feel it, we do. But that feeling of knowing that there's someone out there, someone who's important to you, who's working themselves to the bone to give you something, and you not being, truly not being able to grasp the value of that thing you're being given. Or how important it is that you match it with the agreed upon return. And it's homework. It's homework. So this is where things get hairy for me. And this becomes like a real struggle because upon understanding that I am awash with shame. Shame's a powerful emotion. Maybe the most powerful or set of feelings. I don't know. Bradshaw has his own definitions of it, and I'll agree with those for the most part. I've been reading a lot about shame, and so it's important to me that this becomes conscious and gets worked through in some way. My parents worked when I was growing up. This is a struggle because it's like the framing of my life in some ways, so it's hard for me to comprehend. My parents worked. I am lucky to be a very smart kid. I was a smart kid. Classic story of being able to skate through all your classes, no problem. More than that, like, give me all the work and I'll do it, and then all the extra credit and I'll do it, and now I'm bored. I'm fucking bored. I'm so bored. Give me something to do. Can't find something for me to do. I'm just going to read in class. Okay. That kind of kid. Great. That works up until halfway through high school. And it keeps working throughout high school, just not quite as well. Things scale up. AP classes, advanced classes, honors stuff, college placements, essays, stuff, whatever. Throughout all of that, my parents are working, and they're upper working class, lower middle class. So they're working hard. But I'm a kid. So I discover video games and anime via the laptop computer that I get given as part of our school for the first time. And suddenly I have access to all of that world. And that's so much more entertaining and so much more interesting and so much more fascinating than the stuff that I'm reading at school, which, again, is boring. But this dynamic appears where, let's say it's a weekend, and when I was young, 10 to 13, I would go and work with my dad sometimes, but 15 to 16, weekend would come, it'd be a Saturday, I'd be with my dad, and he'd be like, hey, so maybe come and work with me? Oh, no, I can't. I gotta study. Gotta do homework. Gotta write an essay, right? Now, I know that I'm not gonna study. I'm not gonna do homework. I'm not gonna write that essay until the last fucking minute because I always get a perfect grade on an essay when I write it at the last minute. It's the procrastination cycle. You cycle until the tension gets built up enough and you get this adrenal rush, and then you can actually do the thing. And you do the thing, and then it's this big relief, and you embed that further into your memory, and it's a whole pattern that happens, but I don't care about that part of the pattern right now. The procrastination part, fine. The part that I'm ashamed of is the part where my dad would go and work his ass off. And my dad was a handyman. So he'd be doing plumbing under a house or electrical or, digging ditches, whatever. And I would have something that I was supposed to do. No formal contract or anything, but one knows. And the expectation was so similar, really, to the situation here in Joe. Off he goes to work, bringing home money to support the fundamentals, right? Like, make sure that our house doesn't get taken away from us. Make sure that there's food on the table. Not unstressful work either, right? Like, not exactly what my father would like to be doing with his time. And the corollary is that I'm supposed to be going and doing my work. My work is to prepare myself for the world. My work is to get good grades, to get into a good school, to get a good job so that I can switch out and bring home the bacon. And me as a teenager, I'm like completely losing faith in the industries and establishments that lead in those directions, and like thinking that that's not the way forward, really, but stuck in it. I would end up going through the rest of my high school career and then the entirety of my college experience in that same pattern. In the same pattern of avoiding work that was really for me because I didn't really believe in it or understand it, and because I was pulled to easier things. There's a life to be lived, right? And I lived a lot of it at the expense of doing the things I was supposed to do. So a huge, time portion. I've come out of it. I got my degree. I graduated. I could have gotten slightly better grades and more cum on my laude, you know? But it doesn't matter functionally. But I would have a better understanding of the topics that I studied if I'd paid better attention, and I'd be better at applying myself if I had been better at applying myself. All of these things come back, but the amount of time that I spent feeling guilty about not doing what I was supposed to be doing so far outweighs any benefit that I got from not doing what I was supposed to be doing, from like playing games or whatever. The amount of that time that I was playing games that I spent in guilt and shame and pain is extraordinary. Extraordinary. And the amount of me that's wrapped around shame, around not being able to do the things that I'm supposed to do in the moment that I'm supposed to do them, is extraordinary. And it's something that continues to limit me all the time. So here in Joe, we see a young man disconnected from the world around him, disconnected, as we've expressed, from the things that Danpei is talking about. These lofty dreams and ambitions and goals, like, we're trying to eat tomorrow, man. Trying to just survive, right? And that's what it feels like, is like I'm just trying to survive psychologically in the moment. I'm not doing something to push myself forward or to grow. I'm just trying to cope. I think that's really relatable, and I see it in Joe, right? The world that he's in is hard to cope with. I don't know that I would be able to in his circumstances, not well. So finding something to do to get back at the people who have a little bit of money and make a little for yourself. I understand it now this week a lot better than I did last week. And it took admitting some of the negative things about myself to understand some of the negative things about Joe here. But those moments when we're on his face and then we're on Danpei and he's believing and believing are so crushing to me, because it's like I'm looking in third person out of body at myself at 14. And watching my dad climb into his truck and drive off and waiting for him to be gone. Because I know that what I'm doing is wrong. And then going and sneaking off and fucking playing video games, right? Like, not even something that's bad or wrong. Although there were some strange things going on in my household that made those inaccessible. Video games were banned, outlawed, not allowed ever throughout my childhood. So there are layers to things, right? And that piles on some of the shame, right? Because it's like, oh, this thing that you're doing is actually wrong. Yeah, okay. Oh, fuck, man. So what happened here? What happened is that Joe pointed at a quintessentially human dynamic, one that has played out a million times in a million households, right? And I felt something when I watched it, and then it buried itself in me like an earworm and created a response. A real powerful feeling for me. The character work in Joe has just, for me, transcended a little bit. And it's done it through simplicity. There are so many shows that have tried to do emotional fraughtness in a relationship between a parental type of character and the character that they're taking care of. You can add all these complexities to the relationship to try to make it real, to make it full and whole, and what you really need to do is make it simple. Take out everything that you don't need, and then take the thing that you do need and repeat it like a bunch of times. So this was another little revelation that I had about last episode of Joe. How much of Joe is Danpei swinging a pickaxe, like over and over? How many scenes that are almost identical do we have where we show Danpei believing and then we show Joe not being believable, like not doing the thing that Danpei believes he's going to do? Like 4 of that repetition and like 300 pickaxe swings? I was thinking about this because on my initial watch, I think in my mind I was only thinking about those as like, that's animation. That's how it's hard to draw things. You draw things once, then you repeat them a bunch. Duh, simple. Whether that's the reason for it initially or not, I think there's something amazing that happens. Is that with every swing of his pickaxe, the point is driven harder into us. With every return and repetition of the same sequence, of the same emotional content, it is reinforced. And I think about this often in storytelling that's aimed at children, but that's what we're in, right? And really, all adults are just children too, and any good author is going to be repeating things, and any good storyteller will be repeating things. But the level of repetition is pretty noticeable. We do these things over and over and over. And I started thinking about old work songs. I was thinking in terms of that scene of Danpei with the pickaxe and he swings it, okay? And Danpei with the pickaxe and he swings it. And I was thinking of songs like I've Been Working on the Railroad or The Ballad of John Henry, right? Where the song is built in repetition because it's meant to carry over throughout a workday. And the like, or like rowing on, right? Or any of those work songs or rowing songs, and how they take the simple point and drive it further home through repetition. And I'm realizing that Joe in the visual does the same thing. So, we move forward into episode 4 with a new respect for Ashita no Joe and a new loss of respect for Joe himself. Danpei has finally seen the truth. The newspaper has a picture in it, and that doesn't lie. Joe has met a beautiful woman, and tried to take advantage of her. He claims that he's not interested, that she's, But we spend one of those classic Sugino shots honed in on his face for the moment that he sees her. So we'll see exactly how important she ends up being for the story. Joe's a hero to the town, beloved for these poor orphan children. And it's all gonna go up in smoke, right? But there's one wrinkle, one little wrinkle, one maybe here. And that is that Joe hasn't been taking all that money and spending it on booze or sweets or silly things. He hasn't been spending it at all. He's been piling it up and saving it away. So the question is, what's he saving it for? He's got this big plan, as he's said. Is it any good? Is his plan any good, or is it to ditch town or buy himself a new jacket or something stupid? We're going to have to watch the next episode of Joe to find out, and I am goddamn ready to do it. It's been enough sad boying today here at the beginning. I want to shed tears for the burning fist. So, let's go ahead and watch episode 4 of Ashita no Joe. Thank you so much for joining me and for dealing with this deeply emotional blather here at the beginning. I don't know. We'll keep taking these episodes as they come, and I'll keep talking about what I feel like I need to talk about as we go, because that's the way that I do things here. Yeah. Let's do another thing. Episode 4 of Ashita no Joe. There will be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep timer to count you down with early access on the Patreon, and my undying gratitude to the patrons. It's really cool to see people filtering in to support Joe and to watch the show and to watch it early. So check out the early access if you're interested. That's it. Beep timer. I always forget that it's so loud. Apparently the singer forgot the line. I don't know, Joe. Touching. 1,000,000. He follows in the footsteps of his mother. Oh, we also have a new director this episode. Ooh, sketchy stuff. How could you do this? They figured it out. Oh no. Wow. Joe is not gonna. Joe, that's bad. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh wow, her face is completely different. What's the plan, Joe? Is it to have this building? You'll build a huge building. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, she's completely different looking. An absolutely completely different character design. I can really feel the different voice of the director. You tell him, Saji. The bucktooth kid, it looks totally different too. Okay. The money. Ha 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 ha. Zamamiro. Oh, we don't get to find out? I want to know. Yeah, why, Joe? What's the goal? Our town is shit? And then? Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. I'll rebuild the world. I'll make it all the way it should be from the start. If our damn government won't do it, then I will. Okay, I see. I see. Oh, poor kid. It's brilliant, of course, but like the pipest pipe dream. The oldest. Yeah, you're right, Sachi, it is. It's not that fucking easy, though. If this were what the story was about, oh man, I don't know. How far do you think they can get? One step. I think one step. And then the Yakuza shut them down and the government stops them. Like, this all hit. Whoa. That light to shadow was so unique. Oh, fuck. Not one bit. Damn. But in a way, it's his dream is big enough to include you. So interesting. Yeah. Please. All you had to do was your part of the bargain, man. Gosh, through these episodes, Danpei really ends up being like a Greek chorus, just screaming out for our heroes to do, and, you know, it's like, Achilles, go! I believe in you! Fucking interesting. You what? Aw. Hello. I'll be just as good as them. Hi. You're not getting that. Smack. Yep. Yeah. Sotsuki. Togeza. Hmm. Ah. Oh. I think you get what you deserve now, bro. I think if that's what's coming for you, that's what you get. But no. No chance. Oh? Is there now? Wee woo wee woo wee woo. We might want to run, bro. They're right outside. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think you're full wrong. Yeah, you are human trash. Otto! Pretty lady gets into the car. Joe, you're going to jail. Joe, you're going to jail. Oh, fuck. No. No. We're looking for him. He's wanted. Oh, we've got him. Oh, shit. Oh, wow. What a tear. That was awesome. Gone and done it indeed. Oh, he fighting. Oh, he fighting. Oh, he fighting. You better keep that boy behind bars. Oh, shit, he's getting so much time. Oh, fuck, he's getting so much time. Oh, fuck. Idiot. Oh, idiot. Oh, God, idiot. Oh, my God. He was a wild animal, man. Even in this, he's just the best boxer. I don't know what we were gonna do. Barricaded himself in a ruin. Is it the same one? Shit, man. You've gone too far, Joe. This isn't redeemable. You're going to jail, man. You guys yell at Danpei, I'm gonna be real sad. Y'all don't watch your kids at all. You fucking assholes. It all reflects on Danpei. Fuck. He's gonna go in? Yeah. Okay, give him a chance. I don't know, dude. They might. He's so trusting. Yeah! Well, I don't know, really. I love these spotlight scenes. They're so cool looking. Molto bene. Wow, what a way to put it, Joe. Oh, he means regret it. It's not gonna stop Danpei. Wow, through the helmet? Damn. Yeah. No bull here. That old man's gonna come and beat you up, Joe. This is the fight. They're gonna fight. Ah, shit. Danpei. Fuck. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But and a real fighter, man. Yeah, for real. Step to the side. Step to the side of the stairs. Oh shit. He is not holding back. Oh, that hit him on the back of the fucking head. No, he's still got the fire in his eyes. You talk big. God damn, he's gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. These, like, this is believable that these men fucking hate each other in this moment. Not hate each other, but, like, are willing to beat the shit out of each other. What a great fight. What sound? Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't go fight the... Don't go punch the old man. Whoa, what a scene. Before he does more. You're going to jail, Joe. You're going to jail, Joe. Damn. No, Danpei realized that he needed to beat him unconscious. It's a hell of a scene. I wonder how similar that scene is to a much later scene that I know will happen because of spoilers. You know what I mean? Because it would be... My immediate thought is I would echo those. I would recall. Oh. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. His coat. It's like a funeral. Damn, the coat in the snow is such a good image. And thus ends the first story of the Mad Dog Yabuki Joe. But not the whole story. Oh. Washi no Joe. Oh. We're going to prison. I don't want to know. I do want to hear the ED though. That's why I'm gonna listen through this. Is because I really, 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 really need to hear the ED. Joyo. Next episode will be on Patreon. Ashita wa dochi da? Prison. Now it makes sense. Tate. This is a hell of a knockdown for Joe. He's gonna find it there, huh? Because you'll never respect what's given to you. Joe's gonna go to prison. He's gonna find the passion for boxing there. That's what our ED tells us. So finally, this makes sense. Finally, it makes sense. This running journey that we're on, and this like stuck in cell. He's stuck in a prison cell. This is Danpei outside the prison, looking up at the window, right? Through which his dream lives, right? And somehow in prison, we'll get this moment. This is when he's free, I think. And that will move us into training. And we'll train for real. He'll find it here. He can't see what he's being given until he loses everything. He's gonna find it. Okay. Oh, it's the right story. It's the right story. It's the prodigal son story, kind of. Which is, again, it's like we talked about in the beginning, it's like a quintessentially human story of the youth who doesn't know what they have until it all gets taken away from them and they have to, like, circle back and return to it. The battle to get back to where you started, kind of. That is really, it's really coherent, especially in context of, like, what we just watched in Vinland Saga and some stuff. Oh, that makes so much sense to me now. This episode is hard because it's, like, carrying off of the betrayals of last episode into realizing them and carrying them through. And it's full of interesting little wrinkles and emotional complications, like really complicated emotional circumstances. At the center of those for me is Joe's plan for the slums. His grand idea is he's going to gather a bunch of money by extorting it, exploiting people who are wealthy, right? Which in his moral framing of the world is inevitably justified, right? Haves always have because of evil, right? And so it's always justified for have-nots to take from haves. Joe thinks that any theft is Robin Hooding, right? Because I'm poor and you're rich, and so giving to me is Robin Hooding from the rich, right? It all works. And he's pretty fucking unscrupulous about this. He'll go so far as to take from the old man, and he'll take from other people who are poor, and he'll justify it internally as being him needing it more. Things like that. It's not very strong, but it is his frame. So, justifiable exploitation, take all that money, and it's double justifiable because we're going to pour it into the community. We're going to give it to what he sees as the fundamental underlying structural problems of his world. This is deeply relatable to me as a young man who's grown up in a fucked up world. I think every young man always grows up in a fucked up world. Every young woman, every human grows up in a fucked up world, right? Just to some extent or not, you're able to see it. You might grow up in a perfectly idyllic world, but there's fucked up right outside the walls, you know? You can Siddhartha it and live in your beautiful city, but you drive out and you're going to find disease and depravity and human trafficking and all the good stuff that we've got in our world, right? So Joe looks out at his fucked up world, and through his experience of reality, which is well-formed, he's experienced a good chunk of reality from his own perspective, he understands what's really wrong with everything. It's that the structure is wrong, the system is wrong, the place is wrong. And he's also been different places. Like, he's probably been in towns where things feel better or districts where things feel better. It makes a lot of sense that just, like, infrastructure and people have better lives, these things go together. They go to, like, fuck that it's, you know, this is a slum city that's probably on the suburb side or outside of another city. Fuck that this is all in a nation that's, like, post-war and dealing with all sorts of fucking shit going on. Like, to hell with all of that. It makes perfect sense to Joe. What we need is an amusement park in the middle of the city, and everything will be good. I'll just build good houses, and everyone will have good houses. Duh. And there's something really beautiful and deeply heartbreaking about it. As someone who myself is really interested in sort of affecting systemic change, right? Really interesting topic, fascinating, and recognizing how impossible it is, how absolutely and utterly impossible it is to do something like that. Like, the examples of cities and situations where private interests or a particular public group has retrofitted an area and the disasters that broadly causes when like single purpose urban planning is done, disastrous, usually absolutely disastrous. I don't know in the circumstance of Joe's particular set of slums what would happen, right? If he were able to get all the money and be a billionaire and make an amusement park and all these beautiful things that he talks about, I don't know how it would play out. Maybe it would be great. But just as reasonably, it would be an abandoned amusement park in a couple of years. And now we've got all this space that was living space that's now amusement park space. And nothing can live here. And it's great. That's great. Good job, Joe. I don't know. I don't mean to be so cynical about it. But I think what's important is that in this deeply cynical world, Joe is harboring this beautiful seed of hope for the future. Joe's future is one where everybody lives in peace and harmony and happiness and goes on roller coaster rides all the time and has ice cream to eat. Like, it's the beautiful, good future. It's the fucking Jetsons. He's thinking about reality, and he's not like he's got all the layers of the proper disillusionment and all the layers of the proper ignorance in order to make this work just right. The disillusionment with actual power structures and power and policy. If you're Joe, or like Judo in Double Zeta Gundam or whatnot, everything bad happens at the hands of adults, right? Especially adults in power in suits, right? And so when you get told that the way to affect change in the world is to become an adult in power in a suit, that seems a little bit fucking bullshit, right? That's like a lie. That's not true. You're just going to join politics and affect nothing. Okay, you're just going to join industry and affect nothing. Okay, how do you change things? Break the system, right? You break out of the system. We go Fight Club with it. We start doing things that are radical and radically change things directly, right? Get right to the source and change things on the ground. There's a road where that works, right? Where community engagement and involvement works. That funding could be channeled in effective nonprofit terms into actually making a nonprofit organization to help these children. He could do all of that, but he doesn't even understand that those things are possible. Joe, that's the perfect level of ignorance thing, is like he believes that this could work, and his view of reality is narrow enough that he thinks he understands reality really well because of all the things he doesn't understand. He's Dunning-Krugered toward politics and human interaction. And to be fair, so is every human being I've ever met. So is every single human being I've ever met, self-included. No matter how brilliant a genius they are politically. Noam Chomsky, right? Oh, yeah. Great underlying principles for understanding how polities work, like a nation works. Great, cool. Doesn't know shit. Noam Chomsky's a fucking idiot who doesn't know balls about balls. Why? Because he's one human being. One brain, a couple pounds of fleshy, fatty gray matter. That, you think that motherfucker is going to understand the complexities of the socioeconomic and political world that we live in with 8 billion people on it? No. So every human theory of politics, social dynamics, economics is flawed, faulty, to the utmost, wrong, out the gate, absolutely wrong. Let alone an idiot, uneducated kid from the streets who knows how to punch real good. Like, he's gonna save our world? Sure he is. But the spirit of it is pure as water. It's like fresh air. In the midst of the scrabbling, dirty struggle, Joe has this spirit of gazing beyond, of looking beyond the threshold of what's possible into a future that he can only dream of. And he can only dream of because he's stupid. Let's be clear. He can only dream of this future because he's fucking stupid. And he's wrong. He's ignorant. He doesn't understand that there are lots of things that are going to get in the way of this stupid dream. And it's not even the right dream, right? Food bank, motherfucker. Food bank. But it is the right dream because it's like there'll be an amusement park, and then there'll be a hospital, and then there'll be like nursing homes. It'll be all the things that people need. I don't even think that the amusement park is the first on his docket. I think he leads with that because he's talking to a bunch of kids. He wants a society. He wants a city. He wants infrastructure. He wants what people are supposed to have. And he's got this idea in his head, like the rest of his population, that this isn't quite right. the way that this feels isn't quite right. And so when he gets up above it all, up in that ruined building that he gets up above and sees it all laid out in front of us, we can see the world out there. And it's like, this is wrong. And the kids see it too. They're like, my house is so tiny. I'm actually really embarrassed by where we live. All of this is just the background for our reality, but it's a shitty background. This is how we live. Something has to change. But what that thing is, he's wrong about. He's just wrong about. I wish that he weren't, but I don't think his plans would work even if they could, yeah? But regardless of potential, of possibility, Joe's purpose is a very good one. Morally, ethically, it's really good. It's not self-centered, except insofar as he is a member of a community that he wants to improve. But Joe's goal is to improve this community. And it's not like, I'll improve this community and then everyone will know the name Yabuki Joe and worship me. It's not for his own naivete. It's not, or for his own ego. It's not for, it's because I think it's what he thinks the world should be that way. And he lives continuously in a world that is not as it should be. I think that frame of the world is presently not as it should be serves to justify all sorts of action to get to a world that could be. Really, really interesting. Man, we're going to talk about this last fight and the scenes that it leads to of Joe falling and Joe's body being carried and then saying goodbye in the snow. Because they're beautiful. Beautiful, beyond beautiful. But we have to get there in time. So let's go back to the beginning and work our way through the episode. Start over here, committing fraud. And we sort of start and end the episode with Danpei ripping shit apart. Kind of interesting. How could you do this? So Shiraki finds out that it was all a lie, and she becomes the wrench in the works, right? She bolstered him, and now she's going to turn around. Besides this one moment where she looks away, and then what she actually says to Joe, she maintains her composure throughout all of this, which is really impressive, but serves to really, to continue to characterize her, I think. I'll take full responsibility. I'll catch him and have him write an apology. And we cut to Joe laughing. Faces, they're all different. They're all a little bit different. Like all of them. Especially Sachi. Her face design has evolved. She has no cheek patches. And her whole feature set has been squished a little bit and cutened a little bit. I think her design is really cute. I think all of the other designs are a little bit off feeling. But interesting. Especially Joe's design feels a little bit off. It's something about his chin and then the way that he moves. There's also a moment here where he starts to turn and his body moves in a sort of a strange way. Yeah, it just feels a little bit odd to me. And that is sort of sprinkled all throughout the episode. And I think it's the voice of the third animation director who we're finally meeting. Mostly, I don't super love their voice up until we get the fight sequence. And then at that point, it's like, oh shit, that's a voice. That's really cool for these sequences. But for most of the other parts of the episode, with a couple of little exceptions, like Sachi going up the stairs is really cute, and a couple of other little scenes and moments, I didn't love the vibe of the characters in the episode. Although I'll back up from that and say that there were a bunch of background elements, especially once it gets darker in the second half, we've got spotlights and things in places that I thought were really cool. And I guess those start emerging here in the darkness of this building. So, yeah. Don't worry, this is all just temporary. the framing Joe as like not quite, but like temporarily embarrassed millionaire vibes. There's a real element of Joe that echoes that. That's like, I don't belong in the social class that I occupy. Not for any justified reason, just a feeling that I'm meant for more, right? Which I guess is ego, but you know, I really like her walk up these steps. With the head turn and everything, her little walk cycle is just on point. There's like a to it, and I mean it's because the steps are as big as her goddamn legs, so she's like, it's perfect. Perfect. This whole sequence with the flow of the hair as our characters turn and the interactions between them, it's really lovely. You got a problem with me? Yeah, Sachi's the ruler. Sachi leads. Don't be too shocked. Shock you. Ha ha ha. Listen carefully. Here's the plan. Here's the big dream. Ew, it's filthy. It's kind of embarrassing. This is all because of the crappy government, isn't it? And that's like our level of understanding of what's going on. Right? Nation's in economic turmoil. Shit's absolutely fucked. Corruption is rampant. The Yakuza runs all the infrastructure in town for the most part. This is all because of the shitty government, right? Yeah, that's what it is. It's just that. It's like when you today go to any political forum of any variety and look at what people will say about certain stuff, It's like, why are eggs so expensive? Oh, it's because the shitty insert blank here. And ask 10 different people, you get 10 different blanks. Why can't we stop this war that's going on over there? Oh, it's because of ignorance. Perfect reason. Probably not the real reason. Probably 1/10 of 1/10 of one of the 1,000 reasons, right? Because the reality is so overcomplicated and so, like, we're dealing with two nations with millions and millions of people, whole complicated fucking shit going on, right? Why are eggs expensive? I don't know. Look at the last 20 years of policy around eggs. Maybe you'll find out some inferences around why eggs are so expensive right now. So there's just something really real about this simplicity, this need for simplicity. Here's bad stuff. Our situation is agreeably bad. Why is it bad? What can we do to make it better? So, if that's the real answer, the nuanced answer, the right answer is, I don't actually know why everything's fucked, and I don't actually know exactly what would make it better. I've got some theories as to things that might try. That's not going to win against Jim Bob McBro, who's like, actually, the reason everything is bad is because of the way to fix it is it's because of the corruption of the government, and the way to fix it is to remove everybody who's currently in power. It's because of the immigrants. Let's remove the immigrants, right? Like, figure out your scapegoat, throw your scapegoat away, done. That's always going to sell easier. It's always going to go better. And I don't just mean cynically externally. I mean internally too. When you come up with a reason that explains neatly why everything is happening the way it is, question yourself. Question yourself. Is that why? Is that the only reason? Probably not. Probably not, because almost everything is more complicated than you think it is, because you're dumb. Because you're a human. Again, lump of gray matter. Good job. I feel so much, I relate so heavily to these dumb, poor kids looking up out over their dumb, poor world and being like, why is it all dumb and poor? I guess it's the government. How do we fix it? Let's listen to this teenager who's got a really good plan. His name's Curtis. I mean, Joe. Fuck, man. I hate that politics is everywhere. I hate it. I wish that this could be that I could be less political. Or more. I'm not sure what the answer is. But it's the looking for easy answers and really believing them. I'm going to get rid of the entire area. Then we hone in on Joe. A big amusement park. A free hospital. Bars to a nursing home. That's how we'll take care of our elderly, not with booze. Next to it, a kindergarten for the kids to learn. Fuck the junkyard. We'll build a real apartment complex. And then a factory where people can have jobs. What does it make? Jobs. It's a job factory. It makes jobs. That's what factories do. They make jobs so that people can work. Fuck making stuff for the people who have nothing to buy, right? But build a factory, suddenly you've got people who have income. People who have income can buy things from the factory. That's Ford's idea. Ford's idea was that you could found an entire civilization on a single industry if you needed to. There's real beauty to Joe's ideal. With the factory, we'll give the unemployed people jobs and the pleasure of working. And this way, we'll banish poverty completely. What's Joe fighting against? Joe's fighting against poverty. Joe's fighting against systems, man. Reality. Fuck. It's a big demon to fight, man. We know he can't do it. But this set in his eyes is like he's going to war. Determined as determined could be. He pulls out, it's a real paper plan. It's real. It could really be. Joe's paradise. So are you in or are you out? And Sachi's in, of course. So let's get to it. And we're going to get you some nice suits. What a cool thing. What a cool idea. And then on the flip side is Danpei. Man. Why am I doing this? Idiot. Joe, please. He starts to beg at the sandbag. Joe, please. I'm doing what I'm supposed to, right? I'm holding up my side of the bargain, right? All you had to do was do your homework. God, the shame that 14-year-old me has. Incredible. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing to myself and to my father. I'm so sorry. That was all. Voice. Clear voice. Right here. When we get this bead of sweat that drips down him, and then we lock into this super close-up on the eye. It's just these big blocky shadows form and reshape this eye. It's beautiful. I love it. Wham! And then a hug. Joe, please don't cause any more problems. Please, please. Will not be so. Class. You won't serve us because we look poor. He starts going, oh, no, this is about our reputation. We simply couldn't serve poor people here. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly the point. That's why we want suits by the same tailor as the governor. We want to prove that we've made it, right? Like, I want that gold fucking grill with the iced out, man. I want ice all over my fucking wrists. I want to show the world that I made it. He's so confident that she'll help him. Apologize. That's it. Apologize. I'll forget about it if you apologize. Ha ha! As if you're the idiot who fell for it, and that's the way the world works. She's really straightforward. apologize and I won't police you. We have this one moment where they're all like, come on, boss, do it! You must be kidding. Would never. It's like, maybe return the money, but apologize? My honor? You want to impugn a man's honor when we've just talked about him having no honor? So she goes, all right, is that it? That's how you want to play this? Okie dokie. I love this moment. Don't worry, she won't call the police. She'd be showing the world how stupid she is. She'd be admitting that she made a mistake. This is such classic, like, projection, self-incrimination type stuff. This demonstrates how Joe thinks. Joe would never admit a mistake. Because it would be showing the world how stupid he is. Shiraki doesn't operate under these rules, right? She's not bound by this strange sense of faux honor that's built around maintaining this front of being perfect, of never making a mistake. She doesn't care. And she's able to get ahead because of it. She's able to do what she needs to do because she's not withheld by, like, oh no, I'll be admitting a mistake if I go and fix the mistake. So I guess I'm not going to fix the mistake. I got to just run away. I can just leave. Haha, she can't admit to that mistake. That would be admitting to that mistake. Oh shit. Oh fuck. But it expresses something really powerful about Joe. It would make your corporation look bad. Huh? She just looks at him like he's sad. Goes, you suck. You're trash, man. And the truth is there. He's enraged by it. Can't get a rise out of her. And can't... Like, the defensive walls that he's put around himself. Like, haha, I'm so much better than she is. Haha. They all get shattered when she doesn't care. She's like, you're lame, man. Not even worth it. I'll go let the cops take care of you. Just disappointed. He can't stand it. It's like, God damn it, acknowledge me. This moment when we watch her leg get into the car, it's like there's a finality to it. It's like, oh, there she goes. There she goes. To the police we go. Bing! Oh, it's so pretty. The lights and the darkness are awesome. This sucks balls. Fraud, alleged fraud. And we get a moment of pure genius. Bing in the bright flashlight. Golden glow of the lantern, right? Oh. 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 That's awesome. You've gone and done it now, haven't you, Joe? A mess indeed. He sure has escaped. What are your thoughts? He's going for at least 6 months. This scene is gorgeous. It's awesome. I love that we've got all these parents who are just leaving their kids, and now they have the nerve to yell at Danpei around this. God damn it. You taught him this, didn't you? Joe. So he runs in to do this himself. I can't let this get any worse. Don't worry, they won't hurt me. Well... You forced me to learn boxing, but when you can't control me, you side with the police? Get lost already, Inu. Well, one thing I can be proud of is that I never turned anywhere near contemptuous toward those that were trying to help me. You think I can't control you? You're nothing, punk. What do you mean, regret it? He means regret it. This is where... Man, it's the illusion is dispelled here. That's what it is. There's this idea that we're still friends, right? It's like, hey, man, we've been through some stuff, right? Like, we're on the same... We're not on the same team. I've been using you. This is not what it's about. Wham. And it's Joe's viciousness, and then Danpei's horror. Oh my god. Like, you'd actually hit me. And then that shock turns into the look of a man who's a real fighter, who knows how to categorize you if you're gonna fight him, right? The only reason that Joe's been fine all this time is because Danpei fucking loves him, right? He has Joe in the category of my child. This is my son. You are my son. I'll never hurt you. You just put yourself into category of enemy. I'm not your son. Stop treating me like I matter to you. Leave me alone, old man. Back up. Oh, we're enemies. Okay. That's a different story. But it's not even enemies, really. It's... I gotta save you from yourself. That's what he's gonna do. Rushes up and bashes through, and the old man's intimidating. I feel sorry, but get ready. And Joe's too good. Like, he's dangerous. Knocks Danpei down the stairs. Go back and drink your tea. All right. Yeah, you're good. You're good. You punch well. That's fine. But how far can you really go? At the end of things, Danpei's an old trained fighter whose body has been hammered into submission by hard work and drinking. Right? This is a man who, after a severe alcohol habit, kicked it in an instant with willpower. This dude is gonna get back up again unless you silence him completely, and he's going to keep hitting you with fists the size of hams until you don't get up again. He's a big deal. He's got like 4 weight classes on Joe, right? So we launch into battle, and it's emotional faces and potent swinging punches, all accented with deep black sketch marks and pain. And the things that stand out to me are darkness as an indicator of damage, and the way that sketchy lines can make body parts lifeless. And how stark the difference is between Joe's, like, confident face and when he's actually taken some blows. Boom. There's also this click, 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 click. So we should probably talk about this effect, because we've seen it a couple times, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of it, and it seems to be really, really in this episode with this director. So here's 1, 2, and then back. Okay. So we just put in the same 2 frames twice. Bam, bam, bam. This is phased out of popularity, with the exception of the triple take. Bam, 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 right? And then we follow through. But the immediate insta double take, but doesn't actually look good. This will be, maybe you'll disagree with this take. I don't think it conveys what the animation is intending to convey. And it gets used a lot, I think, during this era of animation. I think because nobody had figured out an exact piece of language, like the sentence to use for you get punched really hard, and we accent that by showing it a couple of times. It hasn't been quite figured out. It's still in an intermediate space where we're trying to do this double-taked frame, or this multi-shot, but we don't exactly have it. It's novel. It definitely adds something to the punch, but my question to you is, does it add fluidity and a feeling of either realism or accent? I don't think so. I think it actually jitters and makes things less accented, you know? Because I want... Here's what I think the modern take is. I think you show this swing. You show this swing through, but we put more in the squash. So we put more in the wind-up for it. And we hold that for a couple seconds to show Danpei, like, gather energy. And then we show this cut with the swing through. We don't double take it. We swing through, and then we hold here. And we don't double take here, right? Why do we need 2 frames of here? Like, Joe's face doesn't return backward or anything like that. We just hold here for those frames instead. And now we've got wind up, action, hold, follow through. And that's the way that I think it ends up being done for the entire 40 years after this, mostly, with certain exceptions like triple takes from different angles and stuff. But it's a very distinct difference in the language of how a strike is conveyed to the audience. And I think we've moved past it. I think it's archaic in a real sense. And I find it really intriguing to witness it in action. It works here, but I don't think that it creates the effect that's desired. I think it ends up being a little bit funkier than it's supposed to be. Now, that said, the individual drawings that make up these sequences are awesome, are filled with motion. The sketches and lines and shadows that, like, they create the crunch of his neck together. And the oof. Ugh. It's also really interesting, again, I mentioned in the first episode, how we create arcs in space and where those are. Like this one, it's an arc, but it happens only in the center of our frame. Like his fist doesn't arc out to the side of the screen and back in, as you would kind of expect for a big sweeping thing. It stays here, and the whole frame sort of rotates around his fist. Boom. And we send Joe tumbling. And there are these moments of real expressiveness, still bright and shiny-faced. And then over here, he lands and is a little contorted, is like, damn, he took some hits there. There's some real damage there. That's cool. But then he looks up, and we get a gleam in his eye. Well, I should say, first he looks up, and the look that's in his eye is that of someone who's about to get squished by a dumpster. That makes sense? Like, oh, I'm fucked. You know, like, oh, there's nothing I can do. A piano's about to fall on me. And then, Joe's a fighter. Ding! Sets his face, and he's ready to go. So we put Joe in the dirt, and he gets back up. All right, then I'll make it so you can't talk. And Joe launches himself at him. We're tumbling around. And it's at this point that it dawns on me that over the course of the last 4 episodes, we have set up a circumstance where I believe that one of these men would kill the other. In the most dirty, human, fighting over scraps, petty bullshit between us sort of way. I really believe it. The relationship between these characters has been built out of steel. It is strong. It's unique, it's interesting, and it's strong. Very impressed. Boom. So now it starts to work for me. Now, once we get more sketchy and the characters are more jittery, it starts to really work for me. As Danpei really takes control of the situation, starts pummeling Joe. Joe starts to bleed into the background. The dark sketches on him make him disappear. And the expressions that we get are shock and his eyes warbling in his head. And it's a real fucking beatdown. Hey guys, let's help Joe. Shut the hell up. You want to help him? Help me. Joe is slumped. His knees are tattered and all these sketches. All the like shininess and clarity that is Joe is out of this scene. It's best he gets sent before it's too late. Don't make me laugh. I'll never go. If I have to die, yeah, well, we can arrange that, my guy. Shut the hell up. One last punch sends Joe packing. Fully slump, bam, and he's out. Out. So I want to remember this frame and this moment and this scene. Because if I was a director, and I know the last scene. It's like the only thing I know, and I told you in episode 1. I would do this scene just like that scene. just like it. So that when we get there, we're recalling it. I would have Danpei carry him. I'd have us cover him with the coat. I'd have Sachi cover him with the coat and say something about it being cold. I would echo all these moments and have it repeat. I wonder if we will. Either way, it's an incredibly striking scene as in a cloud of dust, Joe falls like an irradiated corpse. A ball of sketchy blackness. And so, in the falling snow, like Mother Mary carrying Christ in the Pieta, right? We cover Joe. Prison must be cold. Don't worry about it. But mister, you're worried too. So with his coat slipping onto the ground, we watch Joe carried away in an ambulance, and we're left with Danpei weeping, crying out for the first time, "My Joe, Washi no Joe," and screaming for him to be given back. Give me back my Joe. Next we awaken, we'll be in prison, folks. It's a good place to know how to fight. I wonder what Joe's going to learn there. I wonder who he's going to meet. I wonder what his perspective on reality is going to be shaped into by this experience. In some way, it'll be a journey to get back to where he started. We've already framed things such that that is inevitably the case. In some way, it'll be a journey to come to understand the gift that he was given at the beginning and to value it. But the truth is, I don't know what this is going to bring for Joe. We got to really see into his heart in this episode and understand his dreams and his naivete. We got to see what happens when you're flippant with your life. I relate more strongly and more strongly to Joe. To his viewpoint on the world and his desire to change it. And the feeling like he can't. The futility of it. Being trapped by so many things that are bigger than you and just wanting to scrape by and create some kind of change. Being outside. Not knowing how to get in. What a character. So for the next week, we'll sit with Danpei in the snow, crying out for our Joe to return. And Joe will awaken in prison to find himself in new circumstances. I think we'll be here for a little while. I'm excited to see what that looks like and who we meet inside. We'll find out how this shapes Joe and shapes our story next time on Ashita no Joe. If you'd like to catch next week's episode a little bit early, it'll be available on the Patreon linked in the description. Otherwise, I will see you next week on Thursday for more Joe. Thank you so much for watching this episode with me. Much love. Peace.